Hello everybody, welcome to Georambles in Shanghai in China. Shanghai is one of the largest cities in the world. As a city defined by an urban boundary, it's the second largest after Chongqing and then just above Beijing. So three of the largest cities proper in the world are in China. A country that's grown enormously in an economic sense and a demographic sense over the last 50 years. And Shanghai is the financial hub of that economic revolution that's occurred over the last 20 to 30 years. And it's become a global center of finance and the most important center in China. Shanghai itself then is a massive city of at least 25 million people, and everywhere on the periphery of the city you can see the city expanding and high density housing going up as the population increases, as people move in from the countryside, and this great metropolis continues to grow. But you can see here quite clearly the shift that's occurred in both a cultural sense as well as an economic sense. And the signs and symbols of globalization, particularly Western globalization, are everywhere. And none more so than on this particular strip, this pedestrian strip here, the Nanjing pedestrian strip in this part of town. This is People's Square over here, and you might have seen over there there's a Starbucks. You can just see it there, peeking through the trees. Let's take a little Georamble, shall we? Down the Nanjing pedestrian mall and look out for signs and symbols of globalization in front of our very eyes, particularly the most recent neoliberal version of globalization. Nike, Lego, Starbucks, Dior, Adidas. Look at that. And you often see those things juxtaposed with traditional signs and symbols of the Chinese state. Next to the Adidas sign there we have a poster which extols the virtues of the military here in China. And as you can see, it's a real coming together of Western and non-Western economic, cultural influences. Right, let's Georamble down here, shall we? M&M, Subway. Controversial, at least from a Western sense, Huawei 5G network, named Mate 30 to make it more palatable to nation states that have resisted its expansion, such as Australia and New Zealand, for example. So you can feel here in this part of Shanghai and see the clear outcomes of 30 years of economic liberalization. The state still plays a crucial role, of course, in economic planning, laying out the framework for development, setting up long-term plans and regulating investment, but at the same time allowing free market forces to work, at least in a regulated sense. And of course the consequences of that, in a normative sense, depend entirely on your opinion of state communism and neoliberalism. Clearly what's happening in this part of the world, at least, is neither of those things. It's some kind of hybrid. And it's become a very powerful hybrid, and one which is clearly bringing economic success, at least, albeit not necessarily distributed as evenly as one might like, but economic success nonetheless. And an appropriate point to finish this Georamble as this touristic car passes us advertising beef from Argentina. And we arrive at the central, or one of the central points of this pedestrian mall. With the arches of McDonald's on clear display. Georambles, Shanghai, November 2019.